Today is our first call with a new team member, 𝗕ance, and she will be working with us as an associate for relationship challenges for single parents. So we have been connected with 𝗕ance from a very long time, and we have really seen how much she has worked on herself and how sincere she is in understanding her own self and sharing with people things based on her experiential learning. And we are so excited and glad to have 𝗕ance in our team. So welcome, 𝗕ance. A very warm welcome to you, and so happy to begin this new journey. So welcome. Over to you. Today's audience is all yours. And welcome to
Yeah,
all the new people who are here and all the old people also. Thanks for joining. Over to you, 𝗕ance.
yeah. Thank you so much, Anamika and Akarma. Like, I'm really grateful to both of you because here I would really like to just tell a short, brief story about, my own life and how I came into Anamify and how I found you guys, and how I found out about Anamify and everything. So it's like a real beautiful journey. So basically, I was struggling as I got separation, not legally still. The separation part is going on legally. As we know, in India, it takes a lot of time. But I was going through a lot of issues after I left my in-laws' place, my husband's place, and I came back because that time I decided I wanted to, return because there were no any such positive things that I could see in my relationship. Like I was ready to work, but my ex-husband was not very much interested, and he was like very abusive, and also I suffered a lot of traumas and everything. And when I came back, I was in real depression, plus I had a 4-month-old daughter with me, so it was like going through that postpartum depression. At the same time, there were so many things that I was going through, and I really didn't know what to do. And then I started searching for all kinds of support groups and everything. Then I don't know, I think 1 year back, I found out about Anamify, about Akarma, about Anamika, you people, the work you were doing. And I started, listening and attending your Sunday calls. And from there, my new journey started. I really started understanding and digging deeper into my own self, what I was doing, where I was, like, why I have been attracting unhealthy people in my lives, unhealthy relationships. And when I look back, like, I realized that this started right from my childhood, where, like, I was always craving for love, that care and support, which I never got from my parents. And so from there, every time I used to chase people, I used to chase guys, anybody like who will give me love. And I, for that, I will do anything. I used to do anything, pleasing people. I started pleasing them, and I also got abused, verbally abused, and everything. Even in my marriage, I was somewhere sexually abused. So there were a lot of things that I've been through, and these kind of things really shook me up. And when I started attending these Sunday calls, I subscribed the e-learning journeys, and I feel like I have been through counseling sessions and everything, but the e-learning journeys were so powerful for me that doing those exercises, small, listening to small videos, audios that you people have put in. So because of that, like, it gave me a lot of confidence. And then from there, after some time, I started, looking into dating apps, and I wanted to, just, I was healing myself also from my past relationships and all that. And then I started healing myself, and I wanted to again, I was trying to gain confidence, and I started having that confidence while attending the Sunday calls, doing all those e-learning journeys, especially when I did the e-learning journeys about the core needs and all those kind of the relationship patterns, how it is affecting us, and trauma bonding and everything. So that really helped me a lot, and I'm happy to just tell everyone that I am currently in a relationship with a person, and like, it's a good relationship. Like, not good or bad. Good is should be not used, but it's a more of a healthy relationship. So I'm really happy, and I have it. In fact, this relationship has even helped me to heal myself. So I have gained my confidence back, and I'm really happy. So I just wanted to share this brief thing, and so I now open this discussion with everybody, like anybody who wants to share or share their experiences about dating challenges, if they have been through something like that, whatever, just it's open, free open discussion. So just anybody who wants to start. Yeah, Seema, you have raised your hand. Just unmute yourself, Seema.
Yeah, sorry, there was some. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
no issues.
so when you were talking about your journey, I could resonate and relate so much because it seems like you're telling my story. Maybe here and there, not very similar, but very similar. Like attracting most of the time is the people who are like emotionally unavailable and abusive. So this kind of pattern I also has picked up from the childhood only, where I was a loner child and but don't realize it. But
Yeah.
so similar story like abuse in the marriage and everything. Now it's like a mental exhaustion for me more than anything else. Trusting anybody is like a mental exhaustion because it's like because every time you try something happens, some betrayal happens or something. I keep questioning myself why I what did I do? Like, you know, even after being aware, I think that is not enough. Just um, being aware did not help me. So I'm also looking forward to heal myself, maybe whatever time it takes. But yeah, that's all I want to share.
Okay, that's great to hear. So, actually, we feel that a lot of times we think that, healing is, ek time pe ho jayega. It's like a quick thing, but not, it is not, it actually takes a lot of time, and there will be times also wherein you will keep going back and forth. So there are triggers. Even now, I have not completely healed myself, but at the same time, I really understand. For like, again, when something triggers me, I try to contemplate, and I try to ask questions to myself. I try to dig deeper into myself, and then I work, because this needs a constant working. And if you have somebody, if you meet somebody like who's helping you doing this, then it is a good thing. But yeah, like you said, that abusive, and somewhere we have these kind of patterns because there are a lot of factors, like our society and the kind of conditioning, even the parents, our parents, the kind of relationship they had when we were children. So like we know, children learn uh, what they observe. So in my case, it was, I have always seen my parent as they compromising a lot. So when I was in my marriage, during at that time, I used to feel, if something is happening, I should take the responsibility, because women has to do everything. They have to compromise. They have to tolerate. So to certain extent, I also tolerated his abusive behavior. But again, that was very unhealthy thing to do. And then I realized, no, I put my foot down, that no, I have to come out of this relationship, because I was losing my own inner peace. In fact, to so much so that I had started behaving like him. In a sense, I started doing all those same kind of things that he used to do when I came back and started staying with my own family. Then slowly I realized all these things, and then I started healing myself, and Akarma and Anamika came in, and I shared my journey with them also. And then they told me to, just subscribe to their e-learning journeys. And from there, I started, contemplating. There were a lot of uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable questions that I had to, contemplate on. I was avoiding sometimes, but then I had to, it said like, well, there are things that you have to heal, or you have to, come out of it. Otherwise, you will keep attracting the same kind of situations and people. So that is what happened with me. Yeah. Who else want to share? Anybody else? Niharika, Divya.
Yes, Divya here.
Hi, Divya.
The biggest challenge is to avoid the social pressure of traditional norms
Hmm.
when it is um, coming as a single parent.
Yeah, that's very true.
Can you just elaborate that a little bit more, Divya? What do you mean by social norms? What is it that you're saying? Uh, Divya, you're on mute. Like she's dropped out. Okay. When she can continue, she looks like she dropped out. She'll join.
Yeah, I think her connection is weak. That I got a message. Okay. Who else want to share anything like their own experiences, and like what do you feel, even if you have not experienced, what is your take on, dating challenges of a single parent, especially when we look at our own Indian society?
Biggest thing is that people try to tell you that if you find a guy, better hurry up because time is ticking. And because of that pressure, you don't get that time to understand, in the sense that enough understanding, like you want to know the person through and through. Because of that pressure back in your mind, sometimes you afraid from that unknowingly, and rather than just concentrating on I mean, to know the person better and going through the journey, the focus then comes to totally to the place like, oh, I have to get hold of this guy, otherwise no guy will be left in this world, and time is ticking. Like your friends, maybe your relatives, whosoever you talk to, anybody, they'll say, yeah, now you are this particular age and you should start looking for it. Then the pressure, I think, as a single parent, I feel even if you get hold of a partner, the partner also has kids, which may or may not be like um, workable.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you are saying. Like, so when I was like going through a dating app, I was just kind of talking with people, and when I've talked to few of the guys, and they had this kind of mindset that, oh, she's like now a single parent, so she has nothing good to do, and like we don't want to get involved because she has a child who will take the responsibility and everything. So I realized that while talking to people, it was so like disheartening to look at people's way of treating me in a way, like that kind of taboo they had in the mind. Oh, she's a divorcee, she's separated, and why did she have a child, and a lot of things. So like I stopped. I will even tell you the name of the app. It was called Woo app. So in that app, they were like couples were matched according to their personality types, and so that I found interesting, that part. But the same thing were happening. A lot of guys were judging me, and I did not feel good about it, and so I was like, I should stop, and then I deleted the app and everything. But it was very disheartening. It's really difficult, to, if you want to meet a person, if you want to have that companionship again, and you try, and then people judge you all the time. It really feels hurtful. That's all I can say. Anybody else? Yeah, who raised the hand?
Yeah, it's me, Vicky here.
Yeah, Venki, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the first time I'm here, and good to see all people sharing the stories. So, from my perspective as a guy, I have been separated since a year, and what I figured was that it takes too much of time, energy, and effort to, you know, to go through all these dating sites and liking people, swipe left, swipe right. And see, I'm the kind of guy who cuts the crap and gets to the point. And the the kind of I do know from my friends who are girls that they get too much of likes and swipes from every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So for them, it's a it's like too much of choice for them, so that it gets confused. So people like us who are genuine and who genuinely wanted to go ahead and date people, we don't stand a chance. And I don't even feel like, given my work pressure and my travel, usually I don't get to stand a chance and in getting a date through the app. So I tried, but then regardless of going for a premium with these apps, I gave up over a period of time. So recently what I started doing was to going around and meeting few people in different groups of common interest. And the problem is, like, the kind of interest I have, like the science and tech totally, and also I'm more into geopolitics. So there is no girls only. So yeah, see, these are some of the things that I thought I would also share. See, for me, there is no trust issue per se. If you go talk to somebody and you meet them a couple of times, you will get to know whether the person is compatible or not. I'm not the guy who jumps into doing dramatic stuff. But then what I feel is that we need to get access in order to go around, date, and then get to know each other. But then uh, uh, when you are too much into work and too much into travel, the energy is not there. And that's my perspective on the whole dating scene. So I'm trying to see how uh, we can balance it well, the work life balance per se. But yeah, so I'm sorry I'm all around, but then this is what I was feeling. I just wanted to
No,
share.
no, it's an amazing thing to share, and welcome, like you are new first time. So it's like really good to hear what you are saying, because I can so very well resonate with you. For me also, in spite of living with my parents, it's like taking care of your child 24 into 7. And especially when you have a toddler or a like newborn baby, then it becomes more difficult because they take so much of your time and energy that you don't have at the end of the day. You don't have the energy to explore and go through all those dramas and everything, because yes, going on dating sites is very very taxing. And a lot of times for me it was a trust issue as well, because my trust was completely broken. And before like exploring and even having that thought in the mind that I want to have a partner or I want to date again, it took me a lot of time. Almost it took me 2 years. I healed myself. I took 2 years, in healing and everything. I'm still healing, but the thing is, it's like it's not easy. My daughter was small, and she was younger, and it had a lot of. Everything was very overwhelming for me, and so I was like, no, I don't want to date anybody currently. But when I'm in the right mindset, and also very very important thing we need to understand here is like, are you starting to date because you're lonely, or you want to share your happiness with others? Because a lot of times we do this mistake of we want to have a partner not because you know we want to share our own happiness. We feel complete within ourselves and we want to share that completeness with others. But because, there is some part which I feel I'm incomplete and the other will come and complete me. So that is one of the biggest mistakes that we do. That what I have also experienced in my own journey. So it's like, thank you for sharing. And who else wants to share? Niharika, Dr. Sippy, anybody?
I will share.
Okay, yeah, go ahead,
Just
Anamika.
short thing that I'm not a parent yet, right? But whenever I can relate to it, but it's kind of I can only imagine things when I listen to all of you guys. The thing is that just the thought of this thing of handling a toddler, a child, a small child, and taking care of it, and then also taking care of all the rest of the things. It sometimes seeing these you all guys and seeing so many women we meet, it's just sometimes feels scary for me, to be honest. I I don't know. I haven't done it. Maybe when it's my time, I'll be able to do it. But I don't know. So I just want to say that, salute to like so much courage and so much, power all of you guys and all of these people show. I mean, it's really, really, you know, what should I say? It's like it's still unimaginable for me, but it's really empowering. That's all from my side, Vanshika.
Thank you so much, Anamika. It's really takes a lot of courage, but at the same time, it really empowers you. And yeah, after becoming a parent, for me, it was like I was unable to recognize myself, like what I was before and what I am after taking care of a child. Before taking care of a child, I was myself a child. That's what I feel. So my
Yes,
my daughter has
I
really helped me to grow.
I can totally, feel that what you're saying because I feel like a child sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hi.
Dr.
I think Niharika wants to tell something. So after that,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, Niharika.
yeah. Actually, it's about all the things that are happening in the life. So firstly, I would tell my about myself. So I am a single mother of two kids. Means one is 11 years and another is 5 years daughter. So means my hubby is no more basically. I'm not separated. But if it comes about sharing the time or the journey, or sometimes I feel lacking whenever there is no one with whom I can share the things the thoughts or whatever you can say about the responsibility as a parent that I am taking care of. And from last 2 years, I'm going through this journey of being single and single parenting and all. So sometimes it becomes like challenging, and I feel the need to discuss or to talk with someone. So if when I heard about these dating sites and all, so I always look that maybe I would find someone with whom I can share the my whatever things or thoughts, whatever there is are revolving in my mind about related to kids or the lives or the society or many things keeps on happening. But the drawback that I have always observed that when I created my profile on Tinder, basically, but no one is like that. Means maybe I have not navigated the profiles that much thoroughly, or maybe it may also happen that I may not be in contact with the right person so far. But my feedback, and even stopped using those sites, that the pupil, it means the definition of dating, they have limited it to a certain aspect only. Means it's not a, they never take it in a broadened way. And whenever they see the status and of single women, then only means some sort of thoughts they are having, and they do not want to come out from that. So that is the thing what I miss, and I always means have kept away myself from those things. So this is the thing that I am experiencing, and I have experienced, you can say. That's it.
Okay, thanks for sharing, Niharika. It takes a lot of courage to share all these things. I really appreciate you sharing everything. I can very well resonate with you because, like I also told, like I also shared currently my own experience on going to various dating sites, dating apps, and like yeah, when you put your status as a single mother or a single father, whatever people will judge you first, and they'll ask you all those questions. I was asked a lot of questions like, why are you a single parent? What happened? Was your husband abusive? So they are more interested in what happened. Okay, it's a good thing to know, but they keep judging you and asking weird questions as well. There are a lot of weird questions that were asked to me, I remember. So it's like you lose your confidence to when you are starting, you are taking so much time out, your energy, and that little faith that no, even I can date. This is not something that, matlab, it's like ha thing. It becomes कि divorce हो गया, you are a single parent. Oh my God, people react in such a way. It's so funny sometimes. So yeah, I can very well resonate with that.
Yeah.
Dr. Sipa, you wanted to share?
Yes, Vanshika.
Yeah, go
Hello,
ahead. Yeah.
hello everyone. So, right now, what I wanted to share was to my kid is right now 4 years old, and I'm recently separated, been just 5, not even 6 months of my separation, and the proceedings are just going on. Means I've been legally separated now. So, what I feel is that. It takes such a big toll on me, uh, being a single mother, and even though I'm staying with my parents, the like ultimate responsibility of the kid falls upon me, and it's not like I don't want to do things for him. I do, and that's my utmost priority. But at times the just taking care and seeing to his needs, it becomes so overbearing, overwhelming for me that sometimes I don't want to be just a mother. I mean, it's not that I'm not happy being a mother, but my identity. I feel like I'm just getting lost in being a mother to my child, and it's no longer enough for me at a certain point of time. And then I feel this very deep need, intense need to have someone, to have a partner, whether married or not, just a partner with whom I could share, non like things not related just to the kid, with whom I can share my own feelings, what I feel, my own needs, my emotional, physical needs, and I feel so restricted even to tell this or even to share these feelings with someone else that I do have these needs, because then I feel that I'll be judged. How can you even think of uh, finding someone when you have such a young kid? Because then they would think I'm diverting my mind from taking care of my child, which will not be the case, as I'm sure all of you would agree. But to find that space in our society, or our home, even with our own parents, is so difficult uh, that it feels suffocating at times. Sometimes I feel I want to run away from, you know, from being just a mother, from being just identified as the moment I woke up in the morning to the moment I go to bed at night. I'm just thinking about my kid, and I want to take a break sometimes when I don't have to think about him, when I just want to think about myself, but how I could be happy, with someone else like it. And that is the most challenging thing which I have to face. So yeah, it's good to have you people around with whom I can at least share this. So yeah, this is what I need.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Some time back, I was experiencing exactly the same thing, like uh, my daughter is currently she's 3 plus, so sometimes it's really overwhelming. And also because the thing is, like in India, the legal system is such that that you don't get that space, that clarity, you are not able to move forward because it takes a lot of time to have that legal proceedings are going on at the same time you're taking care of the child. And there are so many scenarios, like you are discussing about maintenance, alimony, child custody, and at the same time, it's like you keep coming back and forth whether to go back. And when you see your child suffering, when they become sick. So for in my case, like my daughter was continuously and consistently getting sick. So somewhere I used to feel that it's my fault because I came back, and because of that she's going through these kind of emotional and physical pains, and I used to feel a lot guilty about that. But then again I came out of it because somewhere I realized it's like always important to understand, like it's better to be in a peaceful and a growing environment than to keep a child in a broken marriage where every day there are fights and everything. And yeah, I can understand when you say that being a mother, every time you are just identified as a mother. So if I put my needs ahead, apart from my child, even my parents, a lot of times they used to tell me, no, she is your first priority, you have to do think first about her. But it is not like this. What I have realized, that when you are happy, then only you can keep others happy. It's not like about keeping others happy, but you can share that happiness around the environment with everybody. So that is very important, that we realize we need to be happy ourselves first. What is it that we want to do? And sharing or having that kind of person, maybe even if you have a friend, a guy friend, good enough. It's not really, important to just keep moving into these typical kind of things that we think about, like dating hai to okay, dating hi karna hai. No, we can have good friends, wherein you can share a space with that person, and you have a healthy relationship with that person. So these kind of things, we also need to broaden up our vision. That's what I'm trying to say. But at the same time, it's difficult because there are a lot of things, especially when it comes to Indian context. There are relatives keeping eyes on you, and they keep telling all kinds of toxic things to you, and it becomes really difficult to keep that balance. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Dr. Sipa. Anybody else who wants to share?
Yes, Vanshika.
Ha,
Divya. Yeah.
go ahead.
Actually, one a call has that is why I went offline.
No problem.
May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Even good resistance often comes into question for the female single parent, right?
Yeah. So,
Mm.
like
Then even
initially,
dating becomes a big problem. People who have children are being harassed by their name also. One more thing is that the simple people Yes, I'm telling that okay, people who show sympathy, they make us feel like you are in a huge barrel, right? Uh,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying before. Only we can do that. We can avoid all these dramas. Nothing else can do.
Okay, so like, what do you mean by avoiding?
Uh,
Can you really avoid?
yes, we can avoid these blah 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 things.
Okay, like you were talking about the social norms, social
Yes,
norms. So like,
social norms and traditional values and everything. We can live our own life.
okay, but again, at the same time, I feel it's not that easy because we are living in a social setup. So how do
Sorry, I
we?
am not a single parent, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just putting through these questions to everybody. So anybody who feels like can answer this.
Yeah, so Vanchika Venki here. So
Yeah. Hi,
I,
Venki.
I,
Yeah.
I resonate with yeah. So I mean, these days I I feel like there is no need. I'm more comfortable being myself. Earlier, some time back, I used to expect some girls somewhere, but then now, uh, I'm more comfortable if there are no girls around. So that that's because it's all like then there is a special consideration, and then there needs to be the way you need to behave, and then you know. Not having someone around and being by myself is something I'm really, really comfortable right now. I got used to it. And yeah, so this happened over a period of time. It's not that immediately, but yeah, and I started, ignoring the comments earlier. The family used to pressurize that you have been divorced and all, but then now though things have been ignored by me intentionally, and I started to live life by my own terms. And so, yeah, I definitely resonate with Divya on this one.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. See.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know this person who was talking right now. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Uh, so so I can resonate with that. I mean, it's so comfortable and it's such a nice feeling to be in your own skin than praising somebody and that all drama and that judgment that you go through, even if you are like trying to be uh, the best partner, maybe like trying to. Um, but then I think it's better to be with yourself than getting agitated or getting into for no reason some dramas, because being a single parent is very exhausting, I feel. And I'm not left with that space where uh, I can handle all of the drama. So maybe, yeah, it's good to have friends. And I think that's what I've also understood very late. Like, I was also jumping into the relationship and all. But then I realized it's better that I do my healing first and then see whether I need a relationship or not. I'm good to have friends, and by God's grace, I have that much of friends whom I can talk with. And now I have Anamika and Akarma. So
That's a great thing to know, Seema. All the best to you. And it feels good like you are doing work internally, because a lot of times people they just jump into another relationship because they want to avoid certain things, they want to avoid feeling certain things. But that is now at the same time, it's not a healthy thing to do. So it's better if you heal yourself and, you think about whether you want to get into a relationship or not. Like, it's completely your take, and I am like, it's good to know. Thanks for sharing, Seema. Anybody else who wanted to say something?
Karma and Anamika are like on silent. I would like to know something from Karma. I mean, he has always something like
Yeah,
put
he
down.
does. He must be having something. He's just. You can ask them also whatever.
Today it's Vanshika's turn to. So I'm listening to this conversation, and so far not much to add as such. But I was just wondering that a lot of things have been discussed, and now I think I would ask Vanshika to share um, some tips also around how she has managed those challenges that we have heard so far. So, Vanshika, if you can share some of those as well, that how did you manage those? So you heard a lot from people that what are the challenges that they are facing, all that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, like for me, the most important thing was to, you know, first get separated from that toxic environment. And when I came back here, so I had a full family support. So that was one of the biggest things, a positive thing for me. And my counseling sessions helped me a lot. So I went into therapy, and I had got 3 months counseling sessions from a counselor, and he helped me a lot to understand my unhealthy behavior patterns, my unhealthy limited beliefs, and whatever I was going through, So since childhood, I went back to my childhood, and I also looked back, like from the childhood, where was the problems I was facing, and from where did it start, this kind of people pleasing and everything, that kind of craving for love every time, searching for a guy, to complete you and everything. So then I started meditation also helped me a lot, guided meditations, and I used to write a diary. I used to keep a journal with me. So that really helped me. And also being a parent somewhere, when you see your child is suffering because of you, like, when you know and understand and you are aware that, while having a small child, they are looking, they're observing at you, and they really, really understand everything that you're going through. So when I realized this thing, I will share a very sensitive this thing, my own experience, that one day something happened, like I fought with my parents, and I was so much overwhelmed with. I was not able to decide. This was the initial year when I came back from my in-laws' place to my parents' place, and I was really not able to decide that, okay, like my parents were still thinking of work. If things work out, it would be better, because especially in an Indian context, we all try that, being having a child, it's better if things get mended up, things get solved, and then, but I was very clear, and I was not able to put this through with my parents. And so I fought with them, and somewhere I was like so scared and feared, that I will have to go back to that toxic environment. And I took some, like, more of sleeping pills, and like I was kind of drowsy, and my parents got worried, and my daughter started crying, and I was behaving in like a, like, delusional kind of way. And then after that, my parents started crying, and they were like, what is happening, and then that one day went like that, and then slowly I came into my senses. And then from there, I really realized what I had done, and I understood that I really need to work upon myself. And from there, I started turning up and looking at myself, understanding that I really need to work out myself, my inner self. And then I started, like, then I met you and Anamika and Akarma, and I started these Sunday calls. I started listening to them, and then while subscribing to the e-learning journeys. I did all the e-learning journeys one by one. Like I was so, when I started with one e-learning journey, it really helped me a lot to contemplate and to understand myself. Like where were these patterns coming from? And after that, I was so happy that I wanted to complete all the e-learning journeys. And I did one by one, slowly. You don't have to, just get a tick mark. That's what Akarma had told all of us when we were in this group and we were new. So he was like, quality matters, you need to give time to yourself, whether it be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it depends. But you have to really, really ask yourself all those uncomfortable situations. You have to put yourself to all those uncomfortable questions, and you have to come out of that fear. You have to face whatever it is. You cannot avoid, you cannot run away from whatever you are facing, because that is the only way when we can grow actually, and we can heal ourselves. That's all I can say. So all these things really help me to come out of my comfort zone as well. And I'm really happy that today I'm in this space sharing my story, my journey, my experiences with all of you. And I'm really looking forward to help all those people, everybody who feels stuck, who feels like, this is something which I can never do, which is impossible. We give sometimes a death sentence to ourselves that, I'm a divorcee, I'm a single parent, my life has ended already. Like I was in this space before, I used to think that everything is over. Now what do I do? Because sometimes we feel that being married, having a child, having a family is the only thing is life. But no, it is not the only thing. You have a lot of things to explore in life. That's all I can say. Anybody wants to say anything, add on to anything?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing, Vanshika. That was wonderful. Very, very wonderful. One thing I have observed, in parents, that when we are single parents and when we have a child, first of all, there's a lot of societal taboos and societal peer pressure which goes around, first of all. So of course we all it's actually high time for us to work on our self-worth, right? That, just like you said, that these things do not define who we are, right? So possibly it's a push from the space that it's time for us to realize this. And another thing is that with children, I mean, I'm not talking just about the practical issues, because all of you who are here would know more than me, I'm sure. So I'm not at all an expert in that. But another thing which I've seen is that we also start to overthink and overanalyze as parents, start putting too much pressure on ourselves for guarding the children. And it's obviously, I'm sure, as parents, we all feel that. All of you must be feeling that and all that. But at some point of time, we can of course physically we have to take care of the children, or maybe old parents who are there. But I guess other than that, we can realize the beauty of children as seeing them as sovereign beings. So that gives that lightens up our lives also, and that lightens up their lives also, right? So there's not too much pressure we are building on children, and also not on ourselves. So we are freeing a lot of space, opening a lot of space. So I guess this is also something which I'm sure comes in the process, and that is when we get introduced to conscious parenting, and how not to take forward all of the patterns which you were talking about. So the thing is that these patterns we inherited from our parents is because nobody actually broke the pattern. Nobody actually came out of the pattern or healed themselves. But I guess this also is like a hard push, kind of a hard reset button for us to work on ourselves and realize that we are free. We don't have to define ourselves based on what society is and all that. And we can also start treating our children that way, seeing them as powerful sovereign beings. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share.
Thanks, Anamika. Anybody else who would like to say something? Any questions, any doubts, or anything you would like to ask? Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Seema, go ahead.
Yeah, so 𝗔𝗕ឆिका, karma, and Anamika and everybody else can also address it. So I want to understand there are times when, there is like, that you're doing right thing as a parent, but then sometimes because you're a single parent, and I'm sure that many times, 𝗔𝗕ឆिका, you must have gone through this. What I'm trying to say is, at times you start feeling guilty when you are too, too over strict or something like that. I always struggle in that. Like sometimes I'm over strict, sometimes I'm not, I'm not able to decide that am I being too strict? Then my guilt sets in. Like, it's like you said that they are also like Anamika said that we should not be in the pressure that our kids should behave in a certain way because we have become single. So I don't know if I'm making any sense.
You are absolutely making sense. It's like I have been through this space, in this space as well. So, there are times that you need to understand, what your child needs at that particular moment. And for me, initially it used to happen a lot of times. See, we are separated from our like partner, and a lot of times your own children also, obviously genetics is so strong that they show certain behaviors that they remind you of your partner. So initially, I used to get angry on her for, I used to say, why is she behaving the way he used to behave? I used to relate a lot with, my partner. But I then, after a certain point, when I started, really realizing that, she was actually suffering emotionally. When she was getting sick consistently, and one of our doctors told that, she's very emotional and sensitive child, and she understands everything that you are going through. So you need to be very, very careful about what kinds of behaviors, patterns you are showing to your child. And don't look at her that she is your child or she is your husband's daughter. You have to separate her. She is a separate entity, a separate human being. Don't mix this up, and don't try to take out your frustrations or your anger because you're separated and he did something which you were, like he abused her. And sometimes we unconsciously or subconsciously, we are like putting all those things into our child's mind and showing these kind of patterns in our behaviors. So you need to be really very conscious, like what Anamika said, that kind of conscious parenting. So for that, you can do certain things, some kind of things that you and your child can enjoy together. Like for me, I have started dancing as an activity for me and my child. So, me and my daughter, we have fixed like 3 days a week we go for dance classes. So that kind of bonding is really helping me to understand her more. She started expressing more, and then another class like I started was a creative class with my daughter because she loves to draw and she likes painting. So you have to identify these small moments, these small things, that what your child loves, what you love, and creating that kind of bond together. So that will really help. It has helped me, so I'm just trying to
Thank you so much
express.
for sharing it. And you have addressed it in a better way. I couldn't put it like this. I mean, yes, this is what I was asking, but sometimes it's so frustrating. And
Yeah,
what you're
I
saying,
completely
I,
understand.
I at times, out of nowhere, that frustration and that fear of, maybe we go through again, we have gone through something, or my child is behaving like him. So that comes out in front of you. And
Yeah,
to be honest, it would be very difficult for me to control myself. I'll be very honest. But then I
yeah, it
realized
is.
yeah, then I realized that he is behaving him like he's maybe born out of me and my ex, but I mean we also behave in a certain way, which must be like for him it would be too much. So yeah,
Yeah,
now what I've started doing is at the most is when I'm too frustrated or too angry, I take my space, and when I
yeah,
get
that is very important.
yeah, so I tell him, and because we have a bond like that, so I always ask him that, I'm not in a very good space of mind, so give me just, this much time, and then we get back. And also along with that, um, we happen to do small stuff like maybe going out somewhere, doing something. He likes to do some origami, so we do art, creativity a lot together. So I'm learning, but at times the pressure of fighting a case, something did not work in the court, uh, the pressure of finances, your emotional need, family pressure, this, that. Sometimes it becomes too much. I mean, I
I
wish I
know.
could
I
have
can.
my mantra
Yeah.
where I can understand that get back to yourself and nothing is like something very alien type of a feeling, but yeah, you're learning. Maybe
I absolutely can very well resonate because I was exactly going through all these things some time ago. And you know what I did? What I realized, sometimes when coming back, you feel that, especially when we talk about our Indian society, like coming back is not a good thing, what have you done? And when I came back, I stopped sharing things with my parents. I felt like, I started feeling like a burden. And then even if I wanted to ask for help, I used to feel so guilty. So you need to, come out of that guilt trip, that no, it's okay. And sometimes you will always feel that चलो और ट्राई कर लिया होता, या मैंने अपना पूरा, I did not
yeah.
give more efforts, like, but I started sharing, my counseling sessions helped me to understand that you are not responsible for everything, and definitely not for others' behaviors and how others behave. You see, there are certain things that are in your control and that are not in your control. So sometimes you need to let go, because I was a very control freak person, especially after becoming a parent, you know so, but you have to let go certain things and relax a bit. don't take
I
don't be
I think
hard on yourself.
yeah, I think the biggest balance as a single parent you have to go through is when to draw a line and not take it from the place of like, oh, now the child is your responsibility. What if that fears that in a click that comes in front of you and you're like, shit, if we are not going to discipline them, then they will be all over the place. So I think that extra pressure that we create on ourselves sometimes it's not worth it. Nothing is going
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
like it is okay. It's like a phase and we all are going through it. We pass through it. So the first and the biggest foremost thing I've started doing is stepping back from a place where I'm not able to take care, or I feel that it's out of my control. And sometimes I think it's okay to not have control on everything, especially specifically when it comes to the other person's emotions and behavior. Even if our kids are also another human being only, I feel that. So they can behave any way they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing, Seema. It was wonderful talking with everyone. Anybody else who wishes to share something?
Today I'm just taking a back seat and only listening to the conversation. So most of the time I'm talking a lot, so I'm just listening.
That's a good thing to know.
Anyway, if there is no more anyone has to say, we can wrap up the call also. So, if anyone has anything, then we can continue. Otherwise, we can finish it.
Think.
Looks like Vanshika, no one has anything to say.
Yeah.
So should we wrap up the call today? We'll come up with a new topic next Friday.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone. So it was a wonderful conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. So let's wrap up and we'll continue the conversation next Friday on this subject. Okay. Thanks, Vanshika. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.